Greetings all, Lord Xenon here once again with Violet Willow, and this time we are playing Brayflox's Longstop. This is a level 32 dungeon that sinks to level 34. And as you can see, unlike most of the other dungeons we've had so far, this one is outdoors. It's a nice little jungle setting. This one can be challenging to new players, especially to new tanks, as there are some definite challenges for tanks in this dungeon. And as soon as our tank decides to get going, we will get started here. Okay. Alright, so this tank is making a big hole. Let's see if the healer can keep up with it. So far, so good, though this guy needs a little bit of love. Love in the form of heavy damage. Problem is that guy uses ranged attacks, and so it's kind of hard to pull him into the same group as everybody else. Alright. Need to go up here. And obtain the key. The tank has decided to go over to the door. Well, the key is you need to get the key, which is carried by that goblin that I talked to earlier, and that key opens this gate right here. Alright, the first boss starts out with 3 ads. I immediately bane the 3 ads, and they die pretty quickly. So I'll just help them along here. Then focus on the boss. Now I'm intentionally going to make sure that I save 1 charge of either blow for the sake of when new ads come in, I can bane them. Here's some more ads. While I'm waiting for the tank to gather them all up, I'll refresh those, and then I will bane. Did I actually manage to hit all 3 of them? No, I did not. Alright, eventually a third set of ads will pop in. By that point, he will almost be dead. So at this point, we just focus down the boss. And that's all she wrote. Come on, caster gear! I need caster gear! Alright. Follow the tank's lead in this next section. Alright. This tank definitely likes big poles, and we will see how that goes in the later parts of this dungeon. Good news is, the Bane is allowing me to keep my dots on all the targets, so they're all taking constant damage from bio and miasma. And as long as I'm able to keep refreshing my Radiant Shield, it's increasing the amount of physical damage they're taking, which helps out the Machinist. You're going back to get a treasure. I am going to follow the tank. Lo and behold, those are all the ads you need to take care of to get to the second boss. Alright, the second boss is the Inferno Drake. Start off as always, drop your dots, have Inferno Bay, cast Radiant Shield. Okay, now the Tempest Biast will appear, and we'll start attacking Brayflox herself. The tank will usually try to pick up the ad, but generally will not succeed for a while. It is scripted that he will take on the ad. In general, the Tempest Biast is a little easier to kill. So it can be useful to whittle it down first, though there's nothing stopping you from killing the Inferno Drake first. That was a waste of an ether flow. I should have used my other charge. Now the Drake is going after Brayflox. Again, this is a scripted event. I've played this as a tank plenty of times, and there is no way to pull it off Brayflox until it's done with that particular sequence of attacks. Again, fairly simple. Where's all the caster gear? Alright, this room, if you are new to tanking and are not completely confident in your healer, this is a challenging room. So as a tank or a healer, this room will be quite intimidating, because it is very easy to get overwhelmed. But this tank is doing a good job of holding everybody, and the healer is doing a good job of keeping them healed so far. So it's working out. I tend to play this room a lot more conservatively, because I've had a lot of bad experiences in this room when tanking it. But as a caster, you do what you always do, just sit in the back, gain as much as you can. Your AoE gets a lot more fun post-level 50. Oh. This is going to be fun. Especially since Ifrit was attacking that one guy. Alright, I'm getting Ifrit back into play. Alright. No! This is why I don't like them making big pulls. Wandering enemies will get all up in your business. Okay, well, let's try this one again. As I said, that room is a challenging room, and that will kill a lot of players, because you can very easily get overwhelmed when a bunch of little groups get together. I usually like coming down this little waterway here. It's a good way to encounter as few enemies as possible. And in all fairness, part of it was some of the enemies were aggroing to people who were following behind the tank. That's why you gotta be really careful planning your route in this area. Now we should have no problems. Again, I really don't want to admit how many times I've completely screwed up this particular part of the run as a tank. So this third boss, Hellbender, as always, you start by dropping dots. I like to stay pretty far away from this. It has that eerie light point-blank AoE that doesn't do any damage, but it increases magic vulnerability, which will increase your damage from other of his attacks later on. So it's just good to stay out of it, and as a caster, it's easy to stay out of it. Now eventually, here we go, he's going to cast a bubble onto one of your allies. You need to take that bubble down so that the ally can actually keep in the fight. Oh, there's another bubble. Alright, now something's gonna happen in a moment here that you may not expect. You see, we don't actually kill this boss. Oh, I got bubbled. Fortunately, you can attack your own bubble. Oh, look! The big dragon just dropped into the fight. And he ate the boss. So now, of course, we fight the dragon. And you don't get to kill this dragon either, or at least not yet. What we're actually fighting is the end boss of this dungeon, but we don't get to finish the fight yet. Eventually, that gate will open. The treasure coffer will appear, and I still won't get any caster gear. See, there are actually 4 bosses in this dungeon, but the trash pulls between each of the 4 bosses are pretty short. So this is actually a relatively short dungeon. Alright. Our tank is pulling all of these guys again. But we should be fine. I'm baiting the group. I'm putting up Radiant Shield. Now we just have one more pull, and then the end boss. Alright. Get my ether flow up, let my timer recharge. Alright, so now it is the end boss. Ayatar. This guy is all about positioning, and this is another challenge for the tank in particular as to where to position the boss throughout the fight. That doesn't mean that we're completely off the hook. Our positioning is going to be very important too. I like to stay back as far back as I can realistically get. Once again, keep the dots on. There, I'm pretty much at my maximum range at this point. I won't be needing the Bane, so I'll use Energy Drain when I can. Now, eventually, he's going to start dropping poisonous puddles underneath certain players. He could target anybody in the party, and the reason I'm staying back here is that if he targets me, the poison puddle will be far away from the boss. Oh good, he's targeting me. So now I will get out the poison puddle. If the boss is ever standing in the poison puddle, he regenerates health. So you do not want him ever standing in the poison puddle. So if you're a ranged DPS, you stay back as far as you can and just hope that he targets you. Because if he does, then you don't ever have to worry about him standing in the poison. And what do you know? I believe he mainly targets DPS with the Toxic Vomit. So if you have two ranged DPS like we do in this fight, as long as the two of us are staying well out of range, we don't ever have to worry about the dragon regenerating his health. Oh, he did target the healer in that case, but he is not close enough to receive the regen effect, because I don't see it on his bar. Oh, he's targeting me. Ah, the healer got rid of my poison. That was nice. As you see, some of the poison puddles will disappear in time. But other than that, it's just continually blasting him with all of your abilities. I don't know that he ever targets the tank with Toxic Vomit. I don't honestly remember. And that's all, folks. Banking the party. Still no caster loop. I will come in the machinist and I'll roll greed. And I'll leave. And I'll get a combo. Yay! So that was Brayflox's Longstop. A few tricky strategies to worry about. The bosses are starting to get a little more complicated as we get further into the game. So in our next video, which I may be able to get recorded tonight, we're going to play our next trial. Titan, normal mode. And once I get that, hopefully I'll get that around the time I hit level 35, and therefore I'm able to unlock my Titan Eggy, which is the improved form of Topaz Carbuncle, but more importantly, get Fester. And once I have Fester, then we have a couple of optional dungeons, and again, by optional I mean non-story. You're gonna want to play them. The next story dungeon actually isn't available until level 41. A considerable amount of time will pass between now and then, but there are two optional dungeons between now and then, the Sunken Temple of Karn and Cutter's Cry, both of which kick up the challenge a little bit. The Sunken Temple of Karn, in particular, is really, I consider to be the first genuinely challenging dungeon in the game. Now, of course, once you played it a number of times and you know all the strategies, it's really not that hard. But for new players, the Sunken Temple of Karn is really the dungeon that's going to test your skill, and basically it should tell you this is the level you must now rise to. But before we do that, we will play Titan, and look forward to that. Until then, have a wonderful day.